It is Jag Manget for the Sports Post podcast. I got my Rode wireless microphone, whatever you want to call it. That's good. Works like a charm. A bit delayed on the connection, so I don't know if the Rode can fix that or not, but hopefully we'll see what happens. So back to the NBA. Right now, you have the Jump on, and they are talking about Charlotte Hornets versus the Indiana Pacers. Last night, it was pretty much Indiana Pacers taking on, I think it was the 10th seed Charlotte Hornets. Now, Charlotte Hornets, they couldn't get the job done. Gordon Hayward was out right off the front, right from the beginning. Prior to the game, it was announced that Karis LeVert would not be playing, and anyone in their right mind would have thought Charlotte would have put up a very good fight, but right off the bat, they never did. This game was like, no, it wasn't even a game, honestly, because it was like something like 74 to 45 in the beginning of the third quarter. So it's essentially a blowout. Indiana came well prepared, and they knocked them out of the ballpark. So Charlotte Hornets are officially eliminated, and they are packing their bags and they're out of here. On the other game yesterday, you had the Wizards taking on the Boston Celtics. Now, the way Russell Westbrook was playing in April, you would have thought that the Wizards had a chance because Bradley Beal was coming back from hamstring injury. Now, he had something like 13 rebounds, but he went 4 for 16 from the field goal line. I don't know what happened. He was limping. He had a bit of a limp at the end of the game. I don't know if that had anything to do with his shot, but he was just terrible last night. And I wish it wasn't that. I wish that was not the case, because now Boston is officially going up against Brooklyn in the first round, and Washington will have to face Indiana. I believe it's tomorrow night to determine who gets the number 8 spot. Now, Russell Westbrook has to be just livid right now with his play from yesterday, but at the end of the day, there's still one more chance. He still has a chance to redeem himself. Hopefully he can. All the critics were just blasting him today, and I don't know what happened. Like, I literally thought Russell Westbrook was gonna do phenomenal yesterday, but he did not. And tomorrow night he has a chance to solidify himself as being an all-star, and he's going up against a team that does not have Karis LeVert on the team. So anybody's ball game tomorrow night. Before we get into tonight's games in the NBA, I want to take a look at the NHL. Now, the NHL, you have KNICKS, Calgary Flames. One more regular season. I thought it was yesterday or the day before, but no, it's today. One more regular season, and then you have the Oilers taking on the Winnipeg Jets, and I believe you have the Bruins taking on the Capitals tonight. Now, Oilers, they're just starting tonight, so it's 0-0 series. Then you have Minnesota Wild taking on Vegas. That's tomorrow night, I believe, as well. And Tampa Bay beat Florida again last night, and Tampa Bay is up 2-0. Carolina is up 1-0, and I believe they play tonight as well. Penguins tied the series last night with the Islanders, and yeah, and It's just playoff season has started. That's all I gotta say. So now you have the Oilers taking on the Winnipeg Jets, the first Canadian team to do it, matchup to do it tonight. And tomorrow night you have Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the Montreal Canadiens. Everybody knows that Toronto is pretty lethal this year, so look for Toronto to gain an advantage tomorrow night. I'm an Oilers fan, but I just think that the Oilers will beat the Winnipeg Jets tonight because Winnipeg Jets, prior to coming into this matchup, did not do a fairly good job. So you don't want to have that kind of trend going into the playoffs. So I think the Oilers will do some damage tonight. Also, it's it's Oilers are completely healthy. Winnipeg's completely healthy, so it's time for the NHL playoffs, and they begin tonight. Tonight also is the play-in tournament for the West Coast. Now, I believe the first game is the Spurs taking on the Grizzlies. And the second game is the Warriors taking on LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and the Lakers. Now, I'm not a fan of this, but LeBron was partying with Drake last night. And looks like he wanted to. I don't understand why when you have a play-in game tonight. I don't know. I don't understand that. Like, I'm old school. You don't do any of that, especially before a tournament. So I don't agree with that, but it is what it is. So LeBron taking on Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry has been red hot. He is a legitimate MVP candidate, but he's had his problems with the Lakers. So we'll see what happens. The winner of that match will end up getting the 7th seed. Now, the winner of the Spurs Grizzlies matchup, let's say the Spurs won. The Spurs and the Lakers won their matchup. So then the Golden State Warriors would have to face the Spurs for number 8. Now let's just say if Lakers lost, then that would mean that the Lakers would have to face the winner of the Spurs and the Grizzlies for the number 8 spot. Now, what you have is number 7 seed, the winner of Warriors taking on the Lakers would have to go up against Phoenix Suns. Now, the winner of, I know this sounds confusing, but the winner of the loser between Golden State Warriors and the Lakers versus the winner of the Spurs and the Memphis Grizzlies would take on the Utah Jazz. So I know that sounds confusing, but I'm with you. It is confusing, but we won't find out till tonight, the 7th seed, and tomorrow night, the 8th seed. So we'll find out more on that. And Brooklyn plays Boston, and 76ers will play the winner of the Washington and Indiana matchup, which is tomorrow night. So I know it sounds confusing, but yeah, it is confusing. It really is. Other than that, then you have the matchups between the Clippers taking on the Mavericks, and the Portland Trailblazers taking on Denver Nuggets, the New York Knicks taking on Atlanta Hawks. That's going to be a good one. Mark my word, that's going to be a good one. And I'm picking the Knicks. And then you have the Miami Heat taking on the Bucks. Now, Drew Holiday off the Bucks, clearly said we have more talent than the Miami Heat. It's just something you don't want to say to Jimmy Butler. And I just think that the Miami Heat are well equipped to actually defeat the Milwaukee Bucks. That's my thinking, and I just know Jimmy Butler doesn't go down without a fight. That's just who he is, and the same thing with Pat Riley. Same thing with Eric Spoelstra. Jag Manget for May the 19th, 2021 Sports Post Podcast.